Good morning, students. Welcome back to your economics class with your economics teacher Lakshmi Vyas. Today we are going to start the second part of chapter correlation, which we have started in our last class. So, in this part 2, let's see the area of discussion. Area of discussion of this chapter includes Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation and Spearman's rank coefficient of correlation. Here, Karl Pearson's correlation of coefficient, we will discuss the two methods: direct method, shortcut method, and merits and demerits of the method itself. So, after this, we'll move to Spearman's rank correlation coefficient, where we'll see the three cases when ranks are given, not given, and under the given case, if the ranks are equal, then how will we calculate the correlation. And then we'll complete this with merits and demerits of the method. So since we have already discussed the theory part of this chapter in the previous video, so if you are having any doubt regarding what correlation is and what are the uses and how it is measured, then you can go through the last video. And after that, for calculation portions, let's see this one. So the first one is Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation. Now previously we have discussed scatter diagram method, which only showed the existence of correlation and direction of correlation, but it does not quantify the extent of correlation. So Karl Pearson's method helps us to calculate the exact value of correlation of coefficient for the two variables. Under this method, there are different cases. The first one is direct method. Now, under the direct method, we have the formula given in the screen. See here, you can see the formula already given, which shows R, which is the correlation coefficient, equal to summation of xy divided by n into summation of sigma x and sigma y, where R is the correlation coefficient, small xy shows x minus x bar, that is the deviation of the items of the series from its mean, and small y similarly shows the deviation of the items of series y from its mean. Sigma x and sigma y are standard deviations of series x and y respectively, and number n is the number of pairs of observation of the two variables. Using this formula, we can simply calculate the correlation coefficient, and we can simplify this formula and modify it to the last one, which is given as summation xy divided by root over summation x square multiplied by summation y square. So this is a simpler method which is modified, so we do not need to separately calculate the standard deviation of the two series as it is required in the first formula. So simply what we'll do, we'll just calculate the means of the two series, x bar and y bar. We'll take the deviations of each from the data itself, and we'll denote the deviations in terms of small x and small y. Then we will calculate the summation of small x square and small y square, and the last one is product of the two. Let's see one example to understand the concept. Here is a numerical example which says calculate the Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient between x and y from the data given below. Here x and y, two variables are there. The corresponding values of the two variables are given. When x is 12, y is 14, x is 9, y is 8, and so on and so forth. Now the solution is given toward the right hand side. See, first of all you need to calculate, make a table where the first column is x. You calculate summation x, which is 70, and here the number of observation is 7. So x bar, which is the mean of this, is summation x by n. So mean of x you are getting 10. Similarly, from the y series, you can calculate the mean of y also, which is 9. Now, deviation from the mean. Small x is x minus x bar, small y is y minus y bar. Once you calculate small x, the third column is squares of deviation, which is x square. And the next column for y series is also y square. So, simply by squaring the values, you can get the values of x square and y square. And the last one is small xy, which is the product of deviations. Then you need to multiply the small x and small y value correspondingly. The last part, the last row of the table shows the summations. So summation x is 70, summation x square 28, summation y is 63, summation y square is 84, and the last one, summation xy, is 46. After getting all these values, we simply need to substitute the values in the formula. R is equal to summation xy divided by root over summation x square and summation y square in the product form. Putting the values, you'll get the value of the correlation coefficient as 0.948. Since the value is coming positive, our answer is coefficient of correlation is positive with high degree of correlation. Why high degree of correlation? Because it is near 0.9. So it is very close to 1. So we will write that it is a positive correlation of high degree. So in this way, simply by just getting the value of mean, deviations and product of deviation with squares, we can calculate the correlation coefficient. This is called direct method. Now we can go to another method which is called shortcut method. Now under the shortcut method, though the name is shortcut, the formula is a big one, but less calculations will be required. So here you can see the formula of correlation coefficient R is equal to summation dx dy minus summation dx into summation dy divided by n and root over dx square minus summation d square by n multiplied by root over summation dy square minus summation dy by n square, where summation d is deviation of series x from the assumed mean, summation dy is sum of deviation of y series from assumed mean, summation dx dy is product of the two, squares are also given, and n is the number of observation. In order to understand this also, as we do, we will go to another example. So here you can see another example when we need to calculate the correlation coefficient between price and quantity demanded of the following data. Now price is assumed to be x and quantity demanded is assumed to be y. In order to calculate this, we make the same table as we have done previously. Here we will not calculate the mean which we have done previously, rather we will assume a mean. So that will be done in the way like x is given, you can assume any value of x as mean. So here in the example I have done 18 as assumed mean. So we will calculate the deviation like 20 minus 18, 19 minus 18, 18 minus 18, 17 minus 18 in that way to get dx, and then square of dx values. Then y, deviation of from the assumed mean and square of deviation values. And the last one is again the same, dx and dy. So simply in place of direct deviations, we are doing the deviations in terms of assumed mean. That is the only difference. Here also in the same way you are getting the last column as sum values, like for each and every column you will do the summation and you will get the corresponding values. After this, the second part, the right hand side portion of the screen, you can see that the value of R is calculated by simply substituting the values of dx, dy, summation dx, summation dy, summation dx square, summation dy square and summation dx dy. So that is simply by substituting the values and you are getting the answer as minus 0.99. Now as I already told you, you have to write the degree of correlation and direction of correlation. So see the answer written over here. Coefficient of correlation between price and quantity demanded is negative and its value is minus 0.99. It is the situation of high negative correlation. Why high? Because it is near to 1 and negative is already, you can see the data. So it is minus 0.99, a situation of high negative correlation. So children, this is it for Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient. There are two different methods. You can go to any one, but I will suggest you to go to direct method. Why there is no need to make the process even complicated in name of under the name of shortcut method. So better you go with direct method. Simply calculate mean, do the deviations calculation and product, and simple way substitute the values in the answer, you will get that. Now every method has some merits and demerits. The first merit of the method is exact measure. Yes, it gives us an exact measure of degree of correlation between two variables. And the second one is knowledge of direction of correlation. Yes, Pearson's method gives us an idea about the degree of correlation between the two variables, whether there is positive direction or negative. Like if one variable is increasing, another will increase or decrease. So that we can understand with the help of answer itself, that if the answer is coming positive or negative, accordingly we can write. Now, despite being a popular measure of correlation, this method suffers from some limitations. The first limitation is assumption of linear relationship. Yes, this method assumes a linear relationship between two variables, but this may not be the case in reality. There can be quadratic relation, there can be any other cubical relation, so that is not given over here. Number 2 is affected by extreme values. Yes, the values of correlation are unduly affected by the value of extreme items over here. Next comes tedious to calculate. This method of calculating the correlation coefficient is tedious and time consuming. Yes, it is very time consuming because a lot of calculation is there, a lot of table formation, then substituting the values, so it takes time. So this was it for correlation coefficient using Karl Pearson's method. Merits and demerits, short you can do for exam. Moving to the another method. Yes, the second method is Spearman's rank coefficient of correlation. This method was developed by British psychologist Charles Edward Spearman in 1904. So that is why it is named as Spearman's rank coefficient of correlation. There is a simple formula under the cases. According to the case, there are two cases given over here. One is rank given and not repeated. Another is ranks repeated. So using the simple formula, we can get the answers. Before going to the answer, I would like to tell you some theory about it. How to do. Now, under this method, various items of the series are expressed in order of their priorities or preference. For example, in a beauty contest, the judges may prepare the list of participants in order of their beauty. Now, such an ordered arrangement is called ranking, and the ordinal number indicating the position of a given item in the rank is called a rank. Now, we may rank the participants in the beauty contest in order of the rank according to beauty. The most beautiful lady will get rank 1 and so on. Similarly, the admission committee of a school may prepare a list of successful candidates interviewed by it on the basis of rank. That is the order of preference. So in this way, we have two sets of rank of two variables for which we want to study the correlation between the beauty and intelligence, physical strength and efficiency, etc. So here we will use this formula, R equal to 1 minus 6 summation d square divided by n cube minus n, where R is the coefficient of correlation, D is the reference difference of the rank of the same item in two series, and n is the number of pairs. So let's see the example. Number 1 is when ranks are given. For that, let's see the question. 10 competitors in a beauty contest were ranked by 2 judges in their order. So simply rank is given. First judge, second judge, both of them has given the rank. So we will make the table first, which will show us ranking of judge 1 and ranking of judge 2, denoting as R1 and R2 respectively. We will simply calculate the difference in the two ranks, D as R1 minus R2 or R2 minus R1. You can do any one. Whatever you do, you just need to calculate the square of the rank as difference. Like after D, we'll calculate D square, so that we'll get all the values positive. Here in the table, n equal to 10 and summation D square is 94. Formula is R equal to 1 minus 6 summation D square divided by n cube minus n. Putting these values in the above formula, you'll get R equal to 0.43. That means what? There is a positive coefficient of correlation between the two judges. the judgment of the two judges are similar type. It is not less than 0.25, so we cannot say that there is low correlation, though at the same time it is not more than 0.75, so we cannot say that there is high degree of correlation, but it is a moderate one. So the two judges are giving a similar kind of judgment, not so highly correlated, not so low correlated, rather it is a moderate correlation between the judgment of the two judges. After this is the case when the ranks are not given. This is a bit different. The first method can be used when the ranks are given. But what if the ranks are not given? Here you can see an example. Percentage of marks in statistics and percentage of marks in accountancy is given. Since the ranks are not given, only the marks are given, we have to make ranking. Here the actual marks is given, not the rank. So it is necessary to assign a rank to different values. Now assigning rank from highest to lowest in the descending order, we can get the tables. See the table, marks of statistics is given. So the highest marks is 85. So see, after near 85 the rank is written as 1. The second highest is 80. So near 80 it is written 2. After that it is 75. So 75 will get rank 3. So in that way we can rank all marks of accounts as well, which is Y. So R1 is the rank of statistics. R2 column shows the rank of accountancy. See, the highest marks in accountancy is 90. So which is getting rank 1. After that 82 is getting rank 2. So different people are getting highest in different subjects. So rank 1 is assigned to two different people. That will give us the difference of ranking. D is equal to R1 minus R2. We will simply calculate R1 minus R2, and as we have done in the previous case, D square, which is R1 minus R2's whole square. So you have calculated 4 as the first difference. So D square is 16. When the values are negative or positive, square will always be positive. So at the end we will calculate summation D square, which is 126 over here. Then we'll put the same values in the same formula which we have done previously. R equal to 1 minus 6 summation D square whole divided by n cube minus n. N equal to 8. D square 126. Putting the value, you will get the value of R as minus 0.5. Yes, see, there is a negative correlation between the marks of statistics and accountancy. A simple idea you can get, like the rank of the person who is getting highest in accountancy is 1, and the same person is getting third rank in statistics. The one who is getting lowest in among the statistics marks, which is 40, is getting second highest in accountancy, which simply shows that the data is scattered in such a way that there is negative correlation. The one who is good in accountancy may not be good in statistics, and so on and so forth. So that is why there is negative correlation between the two variables. So this was the case when ranks are not given, but there was no clash. Okay, like two students are not getting the same marks. If that would happen, then we will move to the third case, which is when ranks are equal. Here you can see, calculate the coefficient of correlation. X and Y are the two variables. The value of variable X is repeated 22 times. And similarly, Y is getting value 9 2 times. So that is, there is equal ranking. Obviously, when we will rank them, there will be the problem of equal ranking. Then how will we solve that? See the table. In the table, series X is written. Then when you will start ranking them, the highest one is 24. So rank 1 will go to 24. Second highest is 22. So rank 2 will go to 22. The third highest is 20. And the fourth highest is also 20. So both of them, third position and fourth position, there is a clash. So 3 plus 4 whole divided by 2, which is 3.5. Then we will assign 3.5 to both 20 values. So third rank and fourth rank will be divided between the two. And fifth rank will be 18. 6 is 11. In that way, all 6 will be ranked. Similarly, in case of Y also, you will get 24 as the first rank, 22 as the second, 21 as the third, 20 as fourth, and then fifth and sixth is 5.5. Both are 9. Then you will calculate the difference and the square of the difference. But in this case, the formula changes. Yes, it becomes a bit complicated. Here we are getting the formula as r equal to 1 minus a fraction where the numerator is 6 times of summation d square plus 1 by 12 m cube minus m plus 1 by 12 m cube minus m. Why this is repeated twice? Because there are two clashes. There are two repetitions. One in case of series X, another in case of series Y. M is the number of items which are repeated. So the first one is repeat between 2, 3.5 and 3.5. Another is also repeat between 2. There can be a tie between 3 people. Like if one value gets repeated thrice, then M will become 3 for one case. Here both the values are 2, so it is 6 multiplied by 29.50 plus 1 by 2, 12, 2 cube minus 2. Again the same, 1 by 12, 2 cube minus 2, because the 2 items are repeated. There is a repetition between 2 people. And 6 is, as I already told you, 6 number of observations. So n cube minus n is 6 cube minus 6. Ultimately, you will get the value of correlation coefficient as 0.123. The rank correlation is positive and equal to 0.123. 0.123 is near to 0. That means there is low degree of correlation, though it is positive. So this was the different types of numericals which you can get in case of this chapter, correlation coefficient. The two methods, one is Karl-Pearson's method, another is correlation coefficient of Spearman's rank correlation method. Under both the methods, all the varieties I have already discussed. We will discuss the last thing, which is the merits and demerits. This method is simple, convenient because the data is already ranked. It is suitable for qualitative data because we can get the qualitative values as well, and usable in case of quantitative data also. So it is a good method because it is very simple to understand, easy to calculate, and it is, we can do the ranking possible. It is not, ranking is not possible in all the methods, but this is the way we can get the actual correlation between the qualitative as well as the quantitative data. And for qualitative data, it is the ideal method because we will not get any other method for that. Like we can calculate the honesty, beauty, efficiency, intelligence, all according to this method. And there are some demerits as well. The first one, it is unsuitable for grouped data. We have done individual series only. We have not done any group data. So rank correlation method cannot be used for computing correlation in case of group data, and it is not suitable for large observation as well, because if we do ranking of hundreds and 200 people, it will be very time consuming and becomes very tedious. So that is why it is advisable to use this method only when the number of observation is less than 20, we can say. So this was Karl-Pearson's correlation coefficient and Spearman's rank correlation coefficient. Here we complete our chapter correlation coefficient, starting from the theory and use of correlation coefficient, how it is, what is the degree of correlation coefficient, what are the types of correlation, what are the different methods, graphical method like scatter diagram, and numerical method like Karl-Pearson method and Spearman's rank correlation method. Doing all this chapter is very important, children, for this year's ISC. You prepare it very well, And with this chapter, we complete our syllabus as well. This was the last chapter to be discussed left before this exam. So I hope you all are done well. If you have any other doubt, you can ask me in your live sessions. You should always complete your assignments. Prepare yourself well, and anytime you can contact me to clear any doubt which you are having. Thank you so much. Take good care of yourself. Thank you.